Joining me now, Texas Democratic Representative Henry Cuellar. Congressman, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
What is your response to the president's response yesterday?
You know, actually, I heard some good movement on behalf of the president. We want to be helpful to the president. You know, after I released the photos, I thought that they would then put out their own photos or their own videos, and then they're going to allow the press to come in. You know, the press should have the access to that. But I think they're going to wait till they get the kids from the CBP facility over to HSS, where it's a little bit more manageable, before they let the press in, is what I think they're going to do.
Gabe Gutierrez, who was the correspondent who was led in yesterday to the HHS facility, which certainly looked like a very well-run facility from what he could observe, is also reporting that at the Customs and Border Patrol facility, that at the intake point, the children are not being tested for COVID. Is there any excuse for not having the National Guard or someone else from the federal government there testing these kids for COVID so that so first of all, treating them and not spreading it further?
Right. And as you mentioned, Andrea, there's two different type of facilities. The first step is the Border Patrol, which is, again, not set up to handle kids. They were originally set up to handle male adults coming in from Mexico, but now we got family units and unaccompanied kids. HSS, very different. They will do testing more than once there. They can have Border Patrol, but Border Patrol says they're not going to do it. So they can bring in somebody else to do the testing for them, because they're supposed to be there. The kids are supposed to be there in 72 hours. But I've been told that there are some young girls there at Donna that have been there for more than 20 days. And I asked HSS why. They said, well, we just don't have the capacity now to take the young girls. They take, for example, in Carrizo Springs, that's young boys from ages 13 and 17. They're scrambling. HSS is to find a place, a center, so they can take the young girls there.
Congressman, you've been complaining about the bureaucracy here. The president correctly points out, the administration points out, that the Trump people during the transition were asked and did not build up the facilities that had been taken down, the HHS facilities. But at this point, isn't there anything they can do to speed up the process of moving those kids from the detention in facilities that are completely inappropriate into proper HHS care?
Yeah, I mean, certainly President Trump did a terrible job with HSS and handling the kids there. But I would tell you that the transition team, and I started talking about this back in December, saying, hey, this is what I'm looking at. First week after the inauguration, I called my contact person and said, this is what I'm seeing on the ground. We have to take a look at it, because if you look at the numbers, they actually started in August, September, October of last year. And of course, we're about to enter the peak months, which is March, April, May, and June. So yes, the answer is should have been anticipated. The situation now belongs to the president. We want to be helpful, but he's got to move faster. My friend Javier Becerra, a good friend of mine, as the head of HSS, should try to move those kids over as soon as possible, because they don't belong in a Border Patrol facility. And finally, Andrea, let me just say this. There's a low place there on Saldua where they have now, because they're overloaded, there's so many kids, Donna's is backlogged, HSS is backlogged. They've released, as far as I know, about 2,000 individuals, families, without even a notice to appear. That is unprecedented. How do you release people without a notice to appear? That's using the honor system in the immigration system, and I don't think that's correct. We want to be helpful, not critical. We want to be helpful to the administration.
Well, that's new information as well. Congressman Henry Cuellar, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.